This video is brought to you by the Intel Core i7-4770K unlocked processor. If you're a speed freak, add an Intel 3500 series SSD to your Haswell system for a truly enthusiast class experience. Welcome folks to my unboxing of the Corsair Air 540. This is part of their Carbide series. Let's go ahead and open this bad boy up. And let's see what Corsair has to say for themselves first and foremost. Outstanding cooling and quieter operation. I don't know about the quieter operation because it's quite meshy, but definitely outstanding cooling. More on that in a moment. Included AF140L fans, low restriction fan covers and dust filters, ideal for advanced air cooling with support for 280 or 240 millimeters in the top, 280 or up to 360 millimeter front rads, and built for brewers. So that either means that it's built for people who make their own beer at home, or it's built for fans of the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm not sure which of those things is the case, but what I think we can be sure about is that if any of those people happen to be PC enthusiasts, then this case was built for them, regardless of what baseball team they follow. All right, so there goes the box, and whoa, look at that. The static's making the hair on my arm stand up. See, check that out. That's why you should discharge a case before you, ow! Oh, that got me really good. Okay, before you can build a system in it. So it uses a closed cell hard foam, not my favorite, as you guys probably know, but I understand why manufacturers do it from a cost-saving standpoint. The good news about this case is it does come in a nice double thick corrugated box, so hopefully you won't have any trouble. I know Corsair has been pretty good about their packaging in the past. In fact, with their AX1200i power supply, we threw it out of a moving car to simulate what will likely happen to it in shipping, and it did not break. So there was that. All right, so now time for the case itself. We've got a manual, which I, of course, won't look at, and then we've got the Air 540. I like cube cases, but not when they're over the top. I thought about getting a Mountain Mods case at one point. I ended up not doing it, but basically the point I'm trying to make with all this is I like about them that they're shorter, but I don't necessarily like about them that the footprint is wider, and that's been the thing that has made me not get them sort of time and time again when I've considered them. So the front of this case has a very unique sort of layout to it. It has two vertically mounted 5¼ inch bays. It also has your reset, power, hard drive indicator LED, microphone, headphone, and two USB 3.0 jacks. Other than that, it's completely clean on the right side, and there's a reason for that. There's not really much back there. Then here, we've got up to two 140 mil fans or three 120 mil fans behind a nice open grill with fan filters, as well as a nice little Corsair emblem, kind of a soft, no, it's not soft touch, but it's a matte plastic finish that actually looks quite sharp in person and seems to be reasonably fingerprint resistant, which is definitely a positive thing for a computer case, because even building in one the first time, there are ones that you can stain to the point where you can't even use them anymore. Well, you could use them, but it would bother you if you have obsessive compulsive disorder like me. Self-diagnosed, I'm not actually obsessive compulsive, or maybe I am. Either way, I have to finish this sentence in a way that will be satisfying. Okay, so we've got an air intake right here next to, oh, what's that? That's where the power supply mounts. That's kind of funny. And we can also look at the case from the back because this gives us a better idea of what's actually going on inside. So lots of ventilation holes here, 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 and here, as well as our I/O and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 PCI slots. So those will give us support for ATX motherboards, but not necessarily XL ATX, but it could if it's an XL ATX 8-slot board. Up here on the top, we have support for two 120 or two 140 millimeter fans, and then we also have the ability, using these thumb screws on the top, there we go, to pull this off. So go ahead, take a step back, Mr. Camera Operator B-roll, sir. And we can pull that off just like that. So that gives us a better look at the way that the mounting mechanism works for those fans and or radiators that you want to mount up there on the top. And check this out. You can also pull off the front, just like that. So that's where we get access to our fan filters, as well as you can actually bolt this down if you want. So normally it's just secured by the top piece, but there's two spots for thumb screws right here and right here that will allow you to secure that in transit or whatever else. Now we also get access to our front removable fan filter, which I have no idea how to actually remove, but I'm sure there's a way. Oh, look at that. That was easy. It's magnetic. Very nice. And it goes on. Oh yeah, that gives us a closer view at what's going on in there. So there's those AF140L fans. Those are the low-speed variant of their AF fans. Compared to the retail versions, you do not get the rubber isolating mounts as well as the color rings that let you change the look of them. So they will look just like that forever and ever and ever. We got a nice big side panel window, and there's a good reason for this, because you can see pretty much all of the important guts on the inside of your system through this side panel. It is basically enough room in here for a motherboard, and that is all. Because the motherboard goes here. Why don't I grab a motherboard? We'll make this simple on ourselves. Why am I pointing at motherboards where they go? I should just get one. There you go. So the motherboard goes right there, which leaves you room for a couple of drives down in the bottom. So here, I'm gonna point at those down here. You can see all the accessories are included in this little box in one of the drive cages. So you can put either 3.5 or 2.5 inch drives down there using the included holes for 2.5 inch drives. Okay, those are, oh, that's cool. Those are hot swap. Check that out. So you can swap those in down there, no problem. You also have room to install lots of thick radiators here and thick radiators here. And then that is pretty much it on this side. Look at all these cable management holes though. Remember, these debuted with the 800D and we are still seeing the use for them today because everything else needs to go on the other side of the case, which means it needs a way to get over to the motherboard. So let's move over to the other side. I'm just gonna pull off 2 more thumb screws here, which are all we need to do. The whole case is coming apart without any tools. A lot of the time, even cases with thumb screws need a screwdriver to take them apart, because they factory tighten them too tight and I can't get them apart on my own. So we've got toolless 2.5 inch drive mounts here. Oh, that's kind of clever. Look at that, they clip together. I didn't even know that about these. Go ahead and, look at that. You can pop on or off as many as you want. In fact, that would allow you to mount them and then install them. So there's a stack of 4 of them. And then the way that they clip into place is just in here. So you can, they have a tension mount at the back. See right there? That will pop them out as soon as you move this away and allow you to easily install and uninstall 2.5 inch drives. That's kind of cool. As well as your 2 5.25 inch bays right here. And then that is pretty much it for drive installation options. So you get the 2 3.5 inch hot swap ones with the included black cables right here. So you run these to your power supply, which happens to be located like right here for very, very short cable runs. There we go. So power supply goes here. You run these to the front of your motherboard through here, and then that's it. 4 2.5, 2 3.5, but you've got a lot of empty space up here that you could probably sort of mod something. Maybe you put your pump up here, or like your reservoir, or whatever else. You put maybe a little res down here. All the included cables are black, not quite down to the individual wires, so you can see the HD audio cable right there. Has a little bit of color to it, but yeah, you can have a close look at that if you want, but honestly, it's not that bad. There's the included USB 3 wire. Here's the toolless 5.25 inch bay mounting, and I think that pretty much covers it. So what does it come down to with this guy? If you already know that you need an Air 540, then you already know you need an Air 540. It does cool better. There is a direct path for airflow right from these fans to the graphics cards, which are gonna be sitting like right here where my hand is. That here, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna grab a graphics card too. That, my friends, is where your graphics card will be, right next to the fans. In fact, longer graphics cards will be even closer to the fans right there. So if you want the best possible cooling and you want to get all that stuff, all those drive cages, all that random junk out of the way of your cooling, this will work for you. If you want something that's super compact and has a smaller footprint, then maybe it won't. Thank you for checking out my unboxing and first look at the Air 540 Carbide Series case from Corsair. Leave me a comment. Tell me if you prefer a narrower footprint or if you prefer something that has more of a cubish sort of shape to it, if there's a practical reason for doing so. And as always, guys, don't forget to like the video and subscribe for more unboxings, reviews, and other computer videos.